Hi everyone, it's Imogen. Welcome back to Colouring Kids. I hope you are all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my completed pages for 2024. I don't have that many to share with you, and you can probably tell given my inactivity throughout this year, and I'm really sorry for that. Life has just really got very busy, and it didn't help that I was hoping to do some videos over the Christmas holidays and I just wasn't feeling well, and I'm definitely on the mend and pretty much better now, but I didn't want to wear my voice out, or I just wasn't really feeling up to it, which was such a shame because I had plans to record things for this term so that you had some content whilst I was at uni. But yeah, essentially I've just been really busy. I think since I did my last video, I think I'd come back from Poland. I'd been with my boyfriend, and yeah, it was lovely. I actually went back for New Year for a few days, which was so much fun. I've never really been away for New Year before, and it was, yeah, gorgeous weather for the celebrations. But yeah, it's all going really well, and that kind of uni in general is going really well. I mean, I'll be coming up to my like about halfway through uni in a few weeks, and it'll be coming up to a year with my boyfriend soon. And I know a lot of you were asking in my last video if you could get to know a bit more about him, and he has said that he's happy for me to share a photo of both of us, so I will include that here. His name is Marcel, and yeah, it's just been really lovely to go to Poland. He's Polish, so yeah, I had never been before, and it was one of the places that I definitely missed out on going to during my interrailing, which I was sad about, but now I've managed to go a few times. So yeah, that's going really well, and this term should be really great in terms of social things, and I've hopefully got a lot of music opportunities. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I do have exams when I go back in the first week, so once I get those over and done with, it should be a fun term. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of say that the channel is definitely not going away. I am planning on continuing with it. I just don't have as much time as I did, and it really does make me sad that I don't have as much time anymore. I don't have as much time to colour. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I want to keep ticking along and still doing, because it's a hobby that I love, and it's something that I also need to help me when I'm really busy during doing other things. So it definitely helps my well-being in that sense. But yeah, it's just the channel's a little bit dormant at the moment, and I apologise for that. But anyway, let's get on to my completed pages. I'm also going to be sharing a few books that I would like to get back into and start working on. Not sure if that will happen or not. And I'll kind of give you a rough idea of books that I might be taking with me to uni. Not that I'll get to many of them, but I like just having them as an option if I do end up with some random time. But yeah, so this is my journal, which I've been having for a few years now. This has been since 2023, I think. And I haven't really changed much of my planning at all. In fact, I haven't really been planning at all. So I was doing really well in 2023. And then it just dwindled. And then what it ended up doing when I didn't have time to plan, or there was kind of no point planning because I wasn't colouring as much. Essentially, I was just scribbling down the colour combinations and keeping them on scraps of paper. And then I found them all. I was like, oh, I should put these in. So that's what I have been doing. So this is essentially my year in colour, if you want to call it that. I've got some, not all of my pages, but some of them where I think the combinations are worth keeping. And then we come to my 2025 spread. So I'm keeping this really simple because I'm not expecting to complete that many pages. As you can see, I only did 12 for 2024. And I know some people may complete 12 in a month, and I just don't have the capacity to be able to do that at the moment, which is really, it is a shame, because if you've been with me for a long time, you'll know how much I was colouring before. I mean, I started when I was year 9, so of course I was going to have more time then before things like GCSEs and A-levels and now uni, you know, take up my time. But I have now 3 whips going into 2025 because I actually have completed one. So I will show that one as well, even though it's technically part of 2025. And then I've just, yeah, kept it really simple with some washi tape and the colours that I've been using throughout this journal. And then this is my spread. So I'm just going to list all of the pages that I've done, the description of the page and then when I started and finished it. And then just keep my colour palettes going. Because that's really all I want to keep with the pages. That's what I think is beneficial. So sometimes I will do the colour palette, as you can see here. This is what I've done for a page I will show you. Sometimes I will actually write down the colour combinations for pages if I think that they are useful. But for this, I just thought the overall palette was going to be beneficial, so that's why I did that. So anyway, that's just a little bit of my organisation and what I will be doing this year in terms of that. I also have a tea with me. I might have to take a drink occasionally because I'm still not quite back up to full strength. I'm just kind of getting over that last bit of coughiness. And also I'm really sorry about the light and the shadows. I can't do much about that, unfortunately. I had a annoying incident with my clamp stand yesterday. It broke and then I had to quickly order another one to be able to film this video today because I wanted to get it done before I go back to uni because I go back in 2 days. So I'm just slightly getting used to it. I might just have to move you slightly. These books are massive anyway, so it probably won't all be in frame. But this is the long-term whip that I've had from Leila Duly's Beautiful Planet. And the long-term whip I have, which I'm sure you might know about, is this one. And this was a huge challenge I set myself. I thought that I was going to be able to get this done whilst I was at uni and it just did not happen. So this was one that I started, I think, last August. And by last August, I mean August 23. And I just didn't get it done. And I'd worked on it intermittently. I think I had done a live stream at some random point last year trying to do some work on it. I do have the colour combinations written down and hopefully I will come back to it at some point. It's just one of these pages that unfortunately will take a lot of time, and I'm enjoying, I mean, I have really enjoyed the time that I've spent working on it so far, but it might be one of those that I just don't come back to for a while. There are other pages that I would like to do in this book at some point. Some that are maybe slightly more manageable, but then there is always that thing that's stopping me, whereas if I have a whip in the book, I don't want to then start something else. So we'll see. I love this book so much and I don't want this to be an ongoing whip that I have in this for, you know, years. So I would really like to get it done at some point. But that's Leila Duly's Beautiful Planet. Then we have Small Victories. I have a lot to show you in this one, including a whip that I am currently working on. This book is just ideal for me at uni. I didn't get anything completed during last term, but I had a few pages on the go, and what I would like to do is actually be able to make this a book where I do complete small things in it, even if it's not a full page, but one of the small motifs, maybe one a week or something, just so that I am visibly seeing that I'm making time for myself to do that, because I'm so busy and sometimes I'll sit down and then feel guilty for having a bit of time to colour. I'm like, no, I should be making time for that because everything's so hectic. That's what it's for. So I shouldn't feel guilty about even 15-20 minutes a day. I think would be manageable. I'd love for it to be more, but I don't think it can be. But yeah, I have lots to show you in here. So I'm not sure if I'll necessarily be showing these in order, but these are all of the ones I can think of for 2024. I'm probably repeating myself a lot, and I think the other ones were before 2024, but this one I think I started during my term this time last year, so maybe in like January, February, because I wanted to do it as a Valentine's Day thing. So I think I didn't end up finishing it until March though, so I think I finished it when I came back from uni. But this one was all polychromos, Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils, fine liner. And yeah, I have shown this one quite a few times, but I am really pleased with it and the fact that I branched out and didn't just use green for the leaves. But yeah, that was a really fun one to do. There is another heart one in here that I would like to do. I'm not sure if it's one that yes it is. I've noted that one to potentially get to. Not sure if I will. And also, it wouldn't, if the symmetrical patterns aren't my first choice of things to do, so I might not necessarily pick that one actually. We will see. Then we have this one that I did whilst I was away in Switzerland. This had been a long-term whip for so long. I cannot even tell you. Probably since April. And I didn't finish it until August. And it's not my favourite page that I've done in this book, but I am happy with the colour palette. I really tried to stick to a colour palette from my Liberty coffee cup. And I think I managed to basically stick to that colour palette. I just think that maybe my colouring could have been a bit better, but I was just trying to get to the end. It was taking quite a while, and some of it I just was like, yeah, let's just finish it. And also I don't think I'm as big of a fan as having this many motifs on a page, because it does feel like it takes up a lot more time compared to something that might only have 4 on it. So it's just something worth considering, and something for me to consider about what style I lean towards and what might be the best things to go for whilst I'm at uni, so it doesn't overcomplicate me just sitting down and doing a bit of colouring. But yeah, that's that one. Then we have this one, which I love. This is probably my favourite one from this book that I've done. And this is the turtle, which I just think is so cute. I also did this when I was away on holiday. This was in France. So we drove from Switzerland to France. And this was mostly just the Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils. And then I also used fine liner. So all of the scaly bits on the turtle here were all fine liner first. And then I went over with pencil. I tried to make it semi-realistic. I used colours that I got online. And then my idea for the flowers and the leaves in the background was to use the colour that I knew I wanted them to be. So for example, these purple flowers, and pick a lighter version of the colour and kind of merge it into the background, so it's all kind of merged in there together, and then the flowers still pop out at the forefront. But yeah, I am really happy with this one. It's just a really simple composition, but I think it works well, and I love simpler pages like this, which are a full, I mean, it is kind of a scene, isn't it? But yeah, I really love that one. Then I have this one, which I also did on holiday. I think I did this one after the turtle. As you can see, I gravitated towards this book quite a lot. And this is the summer one, I'm calling it, because that's my spring, my summer, autumn. I didn't get to the winter one, unfortunately. But this was also based on a colour palette, but a few colour palettes. So I think I'd searched 3 different summer colour palettes and then picked my favourite colours that cropped up in them, and then sort of made my own one. So again, this is the same pencils. I really only use the polychromos and the Faber-Castell Black Edition, along with fine liners in these books. So yeah, a bit of a different one for me, actually. This wouldn't be a normal colour palette that would scream summer to me, but I think it works and I like it. And I branched out and also did blue flowers like this, which I wouldn't normally do. The flowers took ages, actually. But yeah, it's just a really fun one to do. I love doing wreaths. The only accents I use in this book are white gel pen. So you can see a little bit of white gel pen in some places. And then this is my last one. So this was a very recent one that I did manage to do in the holidays. I think I completed 3 pages this holiday. And this was a buddy colour with the lovely Kira from A Picture Purpose. And I'm going to insert her picture here for you. As you can see, hers is absolutely beautiful, and something which I really regret doing is not putting stars on the trees to make them look like Christmas trees like she did. I thought that was such a clever idea, and I am tempted to go back in with a yellow gel pen at some point and maybe put stars on top of the trees here. But my idea for this was, we were kind of going back and forth and talking about what we were going to do with this, and Kira made hers look like gingerbread houses. And for mine, I wanted to make them look like Swiss houses because I'd been away in Switzerland. So I did some digging for different photos of Swiss houses and Swiss buildings in Zurich mainly, and then I just made the houses look like them as close as I could. So I just picked out some similar colours, used them throughout all of the different houses, as you can see, and then I've gone with a different season, I guess, for each. I know it almost doesn't work because there aren't 4, which would have been ideal, but I guess not really seasons, just different times of the day. So if we're imagining that this is the morning and then it suddenly gets cold and starts snowing and then it's the evening. But yeah, I am really happy with this one, and I did end up using some Holbeins in this, which I don't normally do in this book because I do normally stick to my Faber-Castell Polly's and back edition. Not for any particular reason, that's just what I've gravitated towards. So I do feel that this page maybe looks a little bit different compared to some of the others, but it's not a bad thing necessarily. And what I did for mine to make mine look a little bit Christmassy was add all of the snow on. And then also, I'm not sure if you can see here, but I've added little lights. So these ones were already here, so I took those as inspiration, and then I've drawn in all of these lights with the light source and then the neon gel pens in pink and green. So that was my little way of sprucing it up to make it look like a Christmas page. But I thought that Kira's idea was amazing for the Christmas trees, and I thought hers looked beautiful. So thank you so much for doing this buddy colour with me, Kira. I think this must be the only buddy colour that I've managed to get round to this year, which is baffling, but I'm really glad that I managed to do one. And this was something that we had actually set out for a while. So I think in September or October we were planning on doing this one, and I am currently this is the page that I'm currently working on at the moment. I'd really like to get this one done when I'm at uni, because once the background's done, it shouldn't take that long. So I had started mine, and then Kira asked if we could pick another page because hers didn't quite go to plan, I think, and I said that's absolutely fine, I'll just come back to this at another time. And so yeah, this is one that I had done the Swiss houses page, and then I was coming back to this book and I was like, oh, I really want to start other pages, but I've got this whip, I should probably get it done. I did have a vision for this page initially, so it would be really lovely to finish it. So yeah, I drew this border in with green fine liner, and now I'm doing this green background, and then we'll see where it takes me. But yeah, that's my current whip. There's another page that I would love to do in here, which are these birds, because I have an idea for them. I found a picture online that I'd really like to really like to copy. But yeah, we will see. So that's a book that, I mean, I'd love to complete one day, but we will see. It's one that I'm just slowly working in. I'm filling it up. So yeah, that's some Victories by Johanna Basford. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. I've really been on a tea kick this time. I'm into tea and coffee, but tea especially, like Earl Grey tea has been my thing whilst I've been studying. Okay, so there are 2 new books that I got recently since I did my last video, and this book I adore. I really love it. This is the Brown Bearwood Colouring and Spotting book, illustrated by Freya Hartas. I saw this on many people's channels and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna get it. I had some YouTube money and I just thought it was so gorgeous, and it's something that I will really treasure and I would love to put up one day. So I have started a page in this. I haven't finished it because they do take absolutely ages. It's quite a big book, but I do also think that if you take it element by element on these pages, they are a lot more manageable than you may initially think. So this is the one that I'm working on at the moment. This is Bear's Campfire. I'm not able to see it. As you can see, I've done this top part pretty much. I've got a few leaves and things to come back to. But when I was at uni, I was like, oh yes, I'm going to get a head start on this and do some, and then it just didn't happen. I think I did one segment of the background and that was it. It took me quite a long time to actually find the colour matches for the background. So I am being heavily inspired by the original that Freya Hartas did, and I have a picture of that, which I'm using as a basis and trying to make it as realistic as possible to that. I love her illustration style, and I know that she's probably used like airbrush and she's done, I don't really know what the technical terms are for it, but she's done it on a drawing app or something. And so it is hard to fully recreate it, but I'm doing my best and I love it. And I can't wait to colour all of these characters. So my thought for this is, now that I've done the big centrepiece, the campfire bit, which I did do over the holidays, I'm probably just going to map in and work in all of the background in different areas and do a section by section. So I'll do this background and then fill in all the characters, and then do a little bit more of the background and fill it in. I think that's just going to be the most manageable way to do it. I think I would probably get a bit bored if I just decided, right, Imogen, do all of the background at once. So I might decide to do that if I've only got a little bit of time to colour once in a while. I might just decide that, oh, I've got these colours out already, I might as well. But we'll see. I would love to colour a few of these characters because they are so cute. And I love seeing all of the different interactions they're having with each other. And I would also like to maybe take them off in pencil when I have found them on here, but then I'll rub it out, just so that I feel like I'm coming to some sort of completion with the page. But yeah, I love it. This is definitely going to be a whip for a long time. My aim would be, I'd love to do one of these a year, 1 or 2 a year. That would be lovely. And then, you know, maybe one day when I have kids of my own, they can have this book and they can search for things. That would be, it's a really nice memento. That's what I'd love to do. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And again, this is the Faber-Castell Black Edition, and Polly is mainly with this. I found that they've worked the best because this is kind of like watercolour paper. It's not quite as textured, but I've just found that harder pencils work well. And I've loved seeing what everybody else is doing. I just think it's such an inspiring book. It's just really gorgeous. This has been a favourite of mine this year, and it's something that I just love looking through, and I'm in awe of the of Freya's work. It's just stunning. So I'm very happy I bought that. Then we have Meine Reise durch Afrika by Rita Berman. I cannot remember if I shared this before in my last video. I'm really gutted because I did only get to 2 Rita Berman pages this year. But I guess considering I didn't do many, that's pretty good. Rita Berman has always been one of my staple illustrators. I love her work. And I'm really pleased that I finally managed to get to this book. So she'd very kindly sent it to me when it was released. And it took me about a year to get to it because I was just so busy with travelling and then starting uni. And I wanted to make a proper time for it and not just rush a page just to get it done. So I'm really pleased that I have now finished this. So this was done in August, I think, before I went back to uni. And again, I did have a colour palette in mind for this. My thought was to search up a picture of a dragonfly, which I did, and then I took all of those colours and then just put them into the rest of the page. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So this was Black Widows. Again, quite a simple one, which wasn't too overwhelming for me, which is something that I needed because there are so many beautiful pages in here that I would love to get to. But I am just a little bit intimidated about them at the moment and getting to them, so we will see. I'm sure I will. But yeah, as well as the Black Widows, I used a lot of different paints. Most of these were the Calero paints, especially the Stardust one, although I think I also used the Stardust by the Art Spirits, which is the clear one here. But yeah, I've got a few other ones that I used, and then white gel pen, a few acrylic paint pens, Jelly Roll Gold. Yeah, just really enjoyed doing that one. I liked having a simple colour palette as well. That was really fun. I didn't really feel like I needed a background. You can kind of see I've done a little bit of a background here, but nothing too complicated for that one. But yeah, that's that. Then we have 2 postcards, which I'm sure you will have seen before if you saw my last video. These are 2 postcards which I really love. And just to keep them safe, I have kept them in tracing paper. So this first one is from Leila Duly's Botanica. And these are a set of postcards which I don't think you can buy anymore, but she had put on her Instagram that she had about 10 sets left, and I absolutely grabbed the opportunity to get these because I've been wanting them for years. And it took a long time, but I loved this. I used Black Widows for this. During my exams last year, I think I did 2 of these flowers as something just as a breather. I really needed that. And then I finished it when I got back in June and July and I tried to make it a really kind of tropical theme, do something that I wouldn't normally do, so with the blue leaves, the yellow background. I used a lot of fine liner as well for this. I'm just really happy with how it turned out, and believe it or not, this is one of the least detailed options in this postcard set. I think they would all look phenomenal when they're done, and they are more of a bite-sized page in comparison to her bigger books. Something like this is similar, I guess, to things that you could find in the flower year, so they're still very much you know, very detailed, but so beautiful. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one, and I would love to do another one at some point. Then we also have this one that I did from Karolina Kupakowska's Memories postcards, which was a new purchase for this year. So I think in total I've acquired these 2 postcard books, the Freya Hartas book, one other that I'm going to show you. I think maybe about 6 books this year, which is not a lot really, but it just shows that I haven't had much time to colour. There are some that I would absolutely love to get. I'm still really wanting to get Shooting Star by Maria Troll, the Fairy Tales and Folklore book by Emily Lytle-Loberg, Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. So yeah, there are things on my list that I'm mulling away over, but I am being really picky now about things that I add and when I add them, because I'm just not having as much time, but I would love to get those. But yeah, this one was done with Black Widow pencils, and then as you can see, quite a lot of shimmery stuff. This was a quick one that I did during the Easter holidays. Quite an unusual choice for me as a first picture, and the colour palette not so much, but I guess all of this black was quite unusual because I'm not very confident with trying to make so you can see on the feathers, like making the crow's feathers look black but also having other colours in there, because I didn't just want it to be grey. So my challenge was adding pink here with the black and then blue and purple, which I think did kind of work. But yeah, it was a fun one to do. And these are the postcards, so I haven't got to any more yet, but I really love these as well, and I'm so glad that Karolina released these, because this was something that I thought I would never get my hands on, these postcards, because she released them in sets of 20 I think, and then they just didn't come back, and I was gutted that I'd missed out on the opportunity to get them, but they were just quite expensive at a time for me where I wasn't really in a position to get them. So yeah, I'm really chuffed that I have these, so I'm looking forward to doing another one. Bit of tea. Then we have Leila Duly's Walk in the Woods. I've done 2 in here. One of them was in the Easter holidays, and love this one. This is one of the first pages in the book, and I did it as an Easter nest. It's called The Sparrow, well, the poem on the other side, a little bit of the extract is The Sparrow's Nest by William Wordsworth, but I love the blue eggs. I'm really happy with these. For any of you who've been with me for a while, I used to do blue eggs for everything. I've got a Rita Berman page with blue eggs, a Maria Troll page from Schematised. I love doing them. So I used Holbein and polychromos for this. Actually, maybe just polys. No, I think a bit of both. I honestly can't remember. But I'd seen an inspiration image for these feathers. They are my favourite thing on this page, I think, aside from the eggs. I'd seen an inspiration image. I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm basing my colour palette around. So the purpley blue into the green into the yellow was just felt was so unusual, and I really liked it. So luckily I've kept that colour palette written down. The thing that took ages were all of these branches, and then I didn't know what to do with these tendrils. I think they were the last thing that I needed to colour, because the leaves fairly self-explanatory. But yeah, once all that brown was done, it just made everything a lot clearer to see, and it was a lot easier to then tackle the page. I'm really happy with this, and Leila Duly posted it on her Instagram, which I couldn't believe, and yeah, it was just a really fun page to do. And then the other page that I've done is a very different colour palette, just be prepared. It's this one. So this one is a lot brighter. I think I started and finished this during my term at uni. I think I'd started it before, maybe. I think I'd done the flowers, and then I just did all of the the greenery whilst I was there. I didn't really know what I was doing with this, and if I'm honest, it's not my favourite composition that I've done, but I'm glad that I experimented with different things and did stuff that I wouldn't normally do, especially these flowers. I really love these. But yeah, it was just a really small, quick one that I felt like I needed during that summer term. Everything was just getting so busy. So yeah, that was that. And that was Holbein, actually. I find Holbein's work really nicely in these books. There are a few pages that I'd love to do. This one would be one that I would love to do. And also this one, although this is very repetitive, so I might lean towards something else that's not quite as repetitive, but then again, it would be a limited colour palette, so that would be very helpful for uni. What I'm doing is just picking a few books out where I think there might be a small likelihood I'll get to the pages. I just like looking through my books and picking out pages even if I don't manage to get to them. So I'll definitely be taking my Leila Duly books with me to uni. The Freya Hartas book will definitely be coming with me. Small Victories, of course, and then others sprinkled throughout as well. So that's that one, Walk in the Woods, and that came out this year, and I'm so glad it did because it's absolutely gorgeous. Then we have Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Makiko and Atome. This was also a new book that I got this year, and I think I got it at the beginning of the year, and then it took me so long to start a page because, again, this is one where I love the pages and I just wanted to dedicate an actual amount of time to getting a page done and not just starting it and then not finishing it. So this is the double spread that I did. I am so happy with this. I think this might be up there with one of my favourite pages for this year. Originally, I'd only done this page and I didn't really have any intention of doing this one at the same time, but then I did have the time to be able to complete it before uni, and I thought, well, Imogen, get it done before you go to uni and then there won't be any stress about having a half finished page. So I did. It really didn't take that long because I'd already had the colour palette sorted out for this side. So yeah, it was very manageable getting it done. Again, this was one that I didn't really feel needed a background. You've got the background within this and then also the little background there, and I just think that things pop enough even if they're light colours that they don't really need one. But yeah, I'm so happy with this. This is all Holbein and then a few polychromos, a lot of fine liner. And my idea for this, I think I must have said in my last video when I was about to start it, my vision was doing something along the lines of the old Hetty Feather Jacqueline Wilson books. The front covers of those, just the circus vibe of that was something that I wanted to try and replicate. And I think to some degree I did. The bright red is something that I would not normally use in pages, so I'm really glad that I managed to incorporate that. I think I must have shared this. Did I not? Oh no, that was it, because I'd filmed a video that I never managed to upload whilst I was away at uni, and I don't know where that's gone now. But this one was a lot of fun because I was experimenting with red, yellow, blue, but not in the original forms. As in not kind of the primary colours as you'd expect, and I just thought it was really fun trying to branch out from just those primaries and making a different outcome on this page. But yeah, I can't wait to do more in this. I'm just really nervous about doing more in this book now and not being as pleased with them as I have been with this page that I've done. So we will see what happens. But this was one of my favourite, surprisingly, was one of my favourite pages in the book. Normally a circus vibe would not really be what I'm into, but something just drew me to this picture. And yeah, I love it. I adore the wreaths. I really do. I'm so gutted I didn't manage to get to any of the winter ones. If I'm honest, I don't think this will be one that I take to uni because I know myself and I'm not going to get a whole wreath or a whole scene done. I might take it. I just think it's really unlikely that I will start and finish something. So I think I might just keep it and maybe get to it at some point in the future. But yeah, that's that one. Then we have Mein Winter Spazio again by Rita Berman. This was my only winter page that I completed for Christmas time. But I'm really glad that I did do this one. I haven't come back to this book for a while. I think the last page that I completed was maybe in 23. It was this one. This massive double page spread, which I'm still really happy with. I had mixed emotions whilst I was doing it, and I didn't know if it was going to turn out in a way that I was satisfied with, but I am happy with it. I did this one a very long time ago with the Artex pencils, I think. And then this is the one that I did, which I am keeping paper on because I'm worried that the glitter's going to spread. So we have this one, Penguin, and this is one that I just thought was so cute. And I think normally with these pages, because of the Zentangles, I would be a little bit nervous about doing it, but actually I had a really firm idea in mind about what I wanted to do, and it ended up being very simple. So I used fine liner for a ton of stuff. I got two grey fine liners and just used that for a lot of things, and then filled in everything else with colour pencil shading and shadows and things like that. And as you can see, the colour palette is really limited as well, obviously with it being a penguin. And then I decided I wanted to make it look like a candy cane scarf. So I did that, again with so much fine liner. Then this was mainly just fine liner and acrylic paint pen, white pen, and some paint with a little bit of shading for the water. And then again, just a little bit of shading over here. But this was one of these paints that looks white, and then when you shift it, it's got the pink colour shift. These were actually the paints that I got so long ago, the Graby set of 36 metallic paints that I reviewed, which I love, and I just haven't used them for a while. I'm not sure if these are available to buy anymore, but for budget friendly paints, I think they're amazing, and they've got a really lovely colour selection. As you can see, I used this one in the top right hand corner, the one that shifts pink. I love these, and I love this tin that I put them in. So I used that. I used the Jane Davenport Mineralized palette for the background, so you can see all of that shimmer. If you can see, I'd rubbed on with kind of like cotton buds, but they're like what you'd use for eyeshadow. You can buy them in like Superdrug. Yeah, just a lot of painting things going on here, and white gel pen, and just a lot of fun things. I loved this one because I don't get to use, for things that I want to be realistic, like the Leila Duly stuff, I won't use glitter and things, but when I have the opportunity to use them, I really enjoy using them, and this is one of those times, so I had a lot of fun with that. So yeah, that's my other Rita Berman page that I completed. I have decided, I think, not to take my Frühling Spaziergang, because that's the spring book, and ideally I would take that to uni. I'm not sure if I'll get to it, and I'll explain why in a second. My final picture is from Animaux de Bois by Brun. This book I have had a newfound love for. I did a page a long time ago in 2023, and then I didn't come back to it, and I was flipping through it in September, and I was like, gosh, this book is really gorgeous. I would love to do another page in it, so I did. And I would love to get her fragile, is it like it's kind of like Kirby Rosanne's equivalent of Fragile Worlds, not the tropical one, but the third one with the purple. I would really, really like to get that book. That's been on my wish list, and I'd want to get it from Amazon France. I love the marabou paper. It's just gorgeous. But yeah, I really love this. It reminds me very much of Leila Duly's style in a way. So this was the page that I'd done a while ago. And so this was the page that I completed literally yesterday. No, not yesterday, well, the day before. I was determined to get this finished before uni started, because I was like, I'm not going back with another whip, because this is now far too late. You know, I started this in September for the autumn season, and I finished it in January. So that is not happening. And again, it meant that I didn't have to take this book back, because there's no way I will get to another page in this whilst I'm away at uni. It's just too detailed. I already had the page started, which is why I was working on it slightly. So before I went to uni, I had done the trees the wood, and I'd got that out of the way because brown to me, you know, getting those things done, I knew what the colours were going to be. I just wanted to get it done. And then I'd also done the mushrooms. So my running theme throughout this book, which I think I am going to continue with future pages, is any elements that I think are the fun bit, or the bit that I want to pop out on the page, I'm going to use washi tape. So I just lay it over, get a cutting knife really lightly and just cut around it. And yeah, you can see that these ones in particular shine and sparkle a little bit. They've got gold on. So all of these dotty ones are one of the washi tapes. And then this washi tape with the flowers on, which matches really well, is another washi tape, also with a bit of gold. And I love it. It was so much fun doing that. It took ages, but it's a little detail that I love adding to these pages. As you can see with my other one, I also did that with all of the flowers. So I think I'm going to make that a recurring theme. You know, if I was to tackle this page, I probably would use washi tape for all of these flowers, or maybe for the berries, and then go over it with shading. So the beauty of what I did last time was I used the washi tape and then went over with acrylic paint pen and white gel pen. I didn't do anything with these this time, just a little bit of fine liner on the edges. But yeah, that took ages. And then when I was at uni, I was working on the grass, but I didn't get it finished. So I had a lot to do when I came back, and I haven't, believe it or not, had that much time to colour whilst I've been away, whilst I've been at home, because I was working for 2 weeks, then it was Christmas, then I was in Poland, so it just all got very busy. But this was Holbein, and I just worked on one little element at a time. These flowers, by the end, they were so detailed, and I thought, you know what, I did a Tombow base with one of the few Tombow brush pens I have. I just did a base, went over with pencil, and then went over with a pen. So you can see that's why it kind of stands out in the light. A really cool Uniball pen I have called Blackberry Sorbet. And yes, then that's kind of just what I did to finish it off. I did all the leaves first, finished with the flowers, and then the deer was the last thing I did because I wanted to make sure that I hopefully did it justice. And yeah, I am chuffed with it. I ended up having to go in with my rubber and actually rubbing things out because I was worried I'd made the deer too dark and it was blending in too much with the trees. But I am really satisfied with it now, and I kind of had to do a wobbly circle and make up my own lines because I wanted to continue the background all the way around. So that was interesting. It's not quite perfect, but it doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's my cute little deer. I'm really happy with that. Just a little too late, really, because that was obviously for the autumn season. But I'm excited to work on this book again and hopefully get her third one at some point. So that's Animaux de Bois. And then just a few books that I would like to work in, potentially. I'm not sure which ones I'll take to uni and which ones I won't. But yeah, these are just a few that I feel have either been neglected or just need to be worked in. So the only untouched book I have that I purchased this year was this one. And I did get this fairly recently, during my last time at uni in November, so that's why. But this is Wald und Nature by Rehan Uidachi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but she's on Instagram. And this book is absolutely gorgeous. And I'd, again, seen this on a few people's channels and thought that it would be a lovely one to have. Something that's not too detailed, just felt really whimsical. The only thing I'm really sad about is that when it came in the post, some of my pages in the front have got bent. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's just a massive crease in the first kind of good 10 pages, 10, 15 pages. It evens itself out at the end, but I don't know. I'm wondering if I can maybe go in and iron them when I eventually get to the pages. The actual front cover's fine though. But I've just got a few pages that I would like to do. I've got this one, which might be the wrong sort of season now. I had it in mind for autumn, winter, but didn't get around to it. Then we have this one, which I'd love to do because I'm musical and it would be really nice. Really, really nice to do. So that has been on my radar as something that I would love to colour. I think the only thing I would be nervous about is what to do with the background. I think it is giving me nighttime, so I think I would just do a blurred out background and just let it follow the contour of the shape of the scene and just blend it out into nothing. I don't want to do a full-blown background or a border or anything. I don't think I would do that. But yeah, that's a gorgeous one. That's the one I'm leaning towards, I think, is my first one. And then we have this one, which again, I think might be the wrong sort of... that. Now that I'm looking at it, that gives me kind of summer night feel. So I may need to look through this book again and have a rethink about potential spring pages if I manage to get to one. But I'm looking forward to working in this. The paper isn't the best, but I can work with it. I'll just be using pencil anyway, so it's pencil and fine liner. I probably won't use marker, so it's not like I need to worry about watercolour or anything. But yeah, that is a gorgeous one. Then I found that when I was flipping through some books, I was like, oh my gosh, I must get back to Minorizer de Shiropa. This was a book that a few years ago I had the intention of completing. And recently, and when I say recently, I mean in the past couple of years, some of the pages that I've done haven't been my favourite. And it just meant that all of my pages combined in this book weren't my favourites. And I was really trying to do some of my best work in here. I mean, I'll show you just two examples. This one that I completed was a whip for ages and I just had to get it done. As a result, it's not one of my favourites, but I wanted to get it done because I'd been travelling and interrailing in Florence, so I must get that finished. And then the other one is this one, which, I don't know, I like the colour palette, I like the idea, it just looks a bit washed out, I think. So they were just a few pages that I wasn't thrilled with. But then I was looking back, I think they distorted my view of the whole book and what I'd actually coloured in it. And I thought, no, I actually really do like that one. Most of them that I've done, I'm really proud of. So I thought, Imogen, just try and not let that stop you from continuing to work in it, because you've done some really nice ones in here. I'd forgotten how much I really enjoyed doing this one, how much I love that. So yeah, I would love to come back to this. So there were a few that I picked out. This is the reason that I'm not taking my Fruiting Spuzzy again, because I'd like to do a page in this, and I can always come back to that for Easter, because there are some Easter pages in that when I get back from uni. I love this turtle one. Don't think I'll get to it at uni. I think that's quite an ambitious one, and also it could be more summery. The one that I like is this. I think this would be really nice because it kind of looks like it's giving me Valentine's Day. I think it would be a fun one to do, and I think it would be a manageable one to do. I'd be using Black Widows in this book, and I will be taking my Black Widows with me. So yeah, that could be a potential one for sure. I'm very comfortable with doing flowers, so it's not something that I would be overwhelmed with. So yeah, that is one that I'm hopefully going to do, and then I can transfer over the colours at some other point. We have this one, and Cathay Malt on Instagram has done a gorgeous page, and I think I would do the same thing as her. I would border it off. My idea would then be, because the dandelions would be white for these ones, I would then colour in the background however I want, and then just go in with white gel pen and do some lines and do some fun things with that. So that would be again a really fun one to do. I'm just not sure if, I mean, it's a pretty simple one, but I'm just not sure if I would be able to finish it in time. We will see. But that's a lovely spring one as well. There's no reason why I couldn't do that one and carry it over into the holidays. And then the one I really love is this one. And it's opposing this page, which I did make this look like a Christmas page, and I'm really glad that I did. I think this was 2023. I think I would maybe carry over a few of the colours or make it look kind of the same. But I just looked at this page and was like, oh my gosh, it looks gorgeous. It reminds me of being in Switzerland. I'm a little bit confused about some of the background elements and what it actually is. Like, where does this hill end? But that doesn't matter. I think it can be a fluid thing. I don't think that would matter too much. I would be really excited to do this background. I think that would be so fun. And there is also a little card here, kind of like a Valentine's Day card. So there's a lot of different elements going on here, which would keep me really excited to work on the page. So this is definitely one that I am considering. I think this might be if I get the inspiration and the motivation to do it and I have time at uni, I will definitely be doing this one. If I want something a little bit more simple and less overwhelming, I will go for this one. So I have a couple of options in there, and I really want to get back to this. So I'm happy that I've had a newfound motivation for this book, because I've missed it. Then we have Leila Duly's The Flower Year. I haven't worked in this for ages, but I would like to do a page in this. I still have my work in progress, which I've had for so long. This is the second time that I'm trying to do this page, and I want to make it even better than the first one. I'm really annoyed because I haven't written down the colours for my snakehead fritillaries. So I think when I eventually do come back to this, I'm just going to have to rub it all out and start again. Because there's no way I'm going to make it look exactly the same, and that's okay. I'll figure it out. Anyway, that's a whip I have. I've got the painted lady butterfly, which I did ages ago. And then I also did the mistletoe. And this is all with Holbein. And I am taking my Holbeins with me. So there's no reason why I couldn't start working on something for January, February, March. Even just one of the small things would be nice. And then I can keep the colours written down for when I eventually get to the more detailed things. I just would really like to do something in here. I love this book. And unfortunately, I heard somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that this is going out of print, or it's not available anymore, which I'm heartbroken about, which is kind of where it's made me realise, Imogen, get back to this book. I loved doing this first time around, the Periwinkle and Wren. I really, really loved doing it, and I think it might be one that I would like to try and redo, and perhaps do a bit more realistically. I think I would follow Always Colouring's background again, because I loved doing that. There's just so much going on, and I don't know if I'm going to have time. But even just the daisy, just something small, would be fun, and it would really give me that motivation that I've done another page in here. I adore the daffodil page. I wish there was a daffodil on its own. But yeah, there's so much possibility with this book. I love it. So I might take this one to uni, because I have never taken it, I don't think, and I haven't got around to it. And then the final book is one that you might remember I got a while ago, and I think I've mentioned it so much. This is one that I got in France a few years ago, and this is meant to be a kids' colouring book. It's by Rita, and they've done quite a lot of different books, but this is the only one that's really grabbed my attention. And again, this is something that in the future I would love for my kids to have. If I ever managed to complete it. It wouldn't take long really to complete. There aren't that many pages in it. It's just such a cute book. It goes through the seasons. You get loads of stickers in the back. You get 2 spreads per season. So as you can see, this is like a hibernation after winter. This is the big winter spread, which obviously I don't get to. These are characters and different animals and things from autumn, which I'm really gutted I didn't get to, because that was looking like such a cute page. It's a very similar, along a similar vein to the Brown Bear Wood colouring book, and I really like it. But we would be looking at the spring, which is probably my least favourite spread, but I still really like it. I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't do one of these small bits here. But it would be nice to just have as a project book and finish it at some point. But yeah, I would make this look like Cherry Blossom, I think. I'm not sure exactly where I would go with that, but I think it would be really sweet. And maybe if I didn't do this one, I think that would be a little bit ambitious, it would be nice to do some of these. They're a little bit more accessible, I guess, than the Flower Year ones. They're not quite as detailed. But yeah, I think it's just really cute. Bugs have never been one of the things that I've really enjoyed colouring, but actually, I mean, I love doing ladybirds and things, but the wings really intrigue me. I love doing the wings and trying to make them look see-through. That's always really fun. So yeah, it would be a really lovely thing to start. I'm just not sure if I will get to it, but it's definitely a project that I would like to do at some point. There was also another thing that I have by them, which is more of a Halloween autumn thing, and it's a spread, a colouring spread that you can colour of a scene, a very bare scene, and then there are loads of transfers that you can add onto it as well, which is really sweet. But yeah, that's everything that I have to share with you. I did have intentions of doing a what I got for Christmas sort of thing with some stationery bits, but I think I will wait and do that until after this term at uni, and then just do a collation of things that I got for my birthday / Christmas, and then anything else that I've got in the meantime, because that will be really fun to do, but I just haven't had the time, and now I'm packing things away for uni, so I haven't had the opportunity to do that. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, for bearing with me whilst I have been very busy and just not really active on the channel at all. I really do apologise, but it's just one of those things that these few years of my life are going to be busier, and I will find my feet with my channel again, and I've been very out of practice, but I've missed it so much. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to it. I really, really can't. I might be able to film at some point during uni, but I doubt that, unfortunately. But and I still need to kind of film little clips of Oxford and put it together and show you in a video. I must do that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and for bearing with me. I would love to hear what you've been up to, how your Christmases have been, anything at all. If you want to leave a comment or email me. I've really missed that community aspect of YouTube. But yeah, I will see you all soon, hopefully in another video. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this one and any colouring that you're currently doing. Take care, everyone. Bye.